So I spent a lot of time, like some customers I spent like a half an hour, an hour on, just because like I cared so much that everyone had the best experience they possibly could with our technology at the time. And then our revenue basically went from February was 3K, March was 2K, April was actually 25K, May was 50K, July was 180K. Number two is how high is your conversion rate, right? Like when, like after people get on your site, how many people actually go through your funnel and purchase, right? That will basically determine how much revenue you get. It was non-recurring. Everyone I talked to was like, oh, it's cool. It's a nice project, but it's not recurring. How are you going to scale? Like, now we're at 10 mil, like who's talking now? Nobody. Like, I think the only thing that matters if you really care about building a business is building something that people want, building something that people want to pay for, getting distribution, getting traffic, conversion rate optimization, building the best product out there. Like, I think that honestly, that's the only thing that matters. Like, everything else, like whatever name, company logo, like swag, like office, like we don't have an office. Like
that's product market fit.
Product market fit.
Product market fit.
I call it the product market fit question.
Product market fit.
Product market fit.
Product market fit.
Product market fit.
I mean, the name of the show is Product Market Fit.
Do you think the Product Market Fit show has product market fit? Because if you do, then there's something you just have to do. You have to take out your phone. You have to leave the show 5 stars. It lets us reach more founders and it lets us get better guests. Thank you.
Wes, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Dude, so you hit on, like, you struck a chord, man. I mean, your kind of, your platform, which, is in a way, like, it's so obvious after you see it, like, who wouldn't want it, right? So you send in pictures and you get a headshot, like, made by AI, but it looks exactly like you. It's a bit of a no-brainer, and you've grown it to, like, 10 million revenue, raised under $1 million, and you did in how long? Like a year or so?
We launched in, like, I guess our product in February 2023, and it's 2025 February now. So 2 years from 0 to 10 mil.
Insane. Well, let's dive into that. Like, I mean, I'm curious, obviously, like, after you have the idea and how you grow it, but I want to know before how you even, because it's one of those ideas, like, once you see it, and if you see it at the right time, obviously you have to execute against it, but it's almost like it feels inevitable. We'll see if that's true or not, but I'm curious to what happened beforehand, how you kind of came up with this idea in the first place back in, early 2023, like right after ChatGPT came out.
Yeah. So we actually started exploring ideas. Me and my co-founder, we were coworkers at another startup in like 2022. Both of us, had worked at other startups before, and we knew we wanted to start our own thing. That's probably the reason why we were at, like early stage startups. And, AI hadn't really like sort of taken off yet then, like at all, really. Like this is like maybe like a year before, like half a year to a year before ChatGPT came out. And we were exploring ideas in like, HR tech, trying to solve our own problems, just like going through the idea maze that a lot of founders go through, like trying to figure out, what products align with, the founders, and what is like, a product that, has a pretty big market and stuff like that. And
you're doing this on the side, or you quit your kind of role?
No, we were doing on the side, like just like weekends, like we would, do our full-time jobs during the weekdays, weekends. I would so there's a book called The Mom Test that a friend recommended me, like really trying to basically like get signal from users before you actually build something, maybe trying to close a contract. So yeah, we explore ideas in the agriculture, ag tech space, agriculture tech, just like honestly, like trying to like maybe like find an industry that's kind of outdated, and then, like build software for them, build back office tools, stuff like that.
Is that
So
why you
like,
went to ag tech? Because ag tech's it's not like a common place, like, early, like young founders would go to.
Yeah, it was just like a outdated industry. Like we were honestly just like taking like a very like breadth first, like exploration approach, just like trying to figure out like, what are some ideas, like products we could work on. And so I was like calling like, I was cold calling like farmers and like going to the farmers markets and just talking to farmers, trying to figure out like what problems they had, if there was a common problem that they all shared. But yeah, so we were just like exploring ideas. And then around 2022 summer, my co-founder, Akil, he basically stumbled across some new like AI, models and papers coming out on Twitter. One of them was called Stable Diffusion. That was like an open source model. That was sort of like the earliest open source model that was like a, like a stepwise improvement from everything that came before it. You could basically generate images that look pretty good, right? Like not as good as what we have now, but it was like pretty good. And that was one like sort of technical breakthrough. And the other one was Dream Booth. This was a paper by Google, and basically you could teach this AI model, like Stable Diffusion, to learn a certain concept, like learn what your face looks like, right? Or learn what like a dog looks like, or learn like what a product looks like, and then you could generate images of like yourself in different settings, backgrounds, generate image of a product in different settings and backgrounds.
Was this a demo that they had, or something that you thought of doing with the paper you read, like a way you thought of using it?
Actually, in the paper, in the Dream Booth paper, it actually like lists out use cases, and there's like basically like you could just take this paper, like, and I mean, you have to like do some coding and whatnot, and like take a bunch of open source libraries and like still build a product, but it basically told you how you could how you could use this model to create a product that people would use, because it's like product marketing, it's like very clear use cases. So we basically just started like playing around with these models. And this whatever, like this technology, people created open source versions of Dream Booth, and Stable Diffusion was available online, and we thought this was a great opportunity to like try and build a business that used these models that were like 10x better than before. Like maybe you could solve problems that couldn't have been solved before, or maybe you solve them 10x cheaper, 10x faster. I think the best time to build is when there's a like a technical like sort of innovation, like a new technology that comes out, new AI model today, or like a regulatory change. And so this was like like the former. So we basically just like kept building products. We like the first one that we built was like people like read a lot of articles, right? But you also need like a cover photo or like images to accompany like the text. So we built this like sort of we hacked it together like in a few days, but basically you could write stuff out, like maybe like an article, a blog post, and then you would generate images based on like keywords in that article, right? So that was like our first product. We applied to YC with it, and like they weren't a fan. They were like, actually we applied with the idea, and then they were like, how quickly can you build it? And then we built it in a few days, but they still didn't accept us. They accepted us later on, but yeah, so like we were just like iterating through all these like different ideas, like using image
But
models.
did you try to like push it out, get people to use it, or was YC like your test of, if they let us in, we'll go, and if not, then we'll try something else?
Yeah, so I think actually like early on, so we incorporated the company October 2022. So that's like
And
when
at
I
this
left
point, you're
my,
full time. You'd left your job, okay?
yeah, left my job.
Because of this paper, or like because you just saw so many opportunities?
I guess the story is actually I got fired from my last job.
That's a
I
better
haven't shared
story.
this online. I've shared this obviously like with close friends and family, but yeah, so I was actually like this is my first time sharing online, but I was actually fired from my previous job. There were some issues with the culture there, and I wasn't quite productive. I was also working on my startup on the side, and then spending a lot of time with my girlfriend at the time. So yeah, I was just like really not performing. Yeah, I think I perform better when I have more, I think, responsibility, autonomy, stuff like that. And I don't think I quite had that. But anyways, yeah. So
For what it's worth, I got fired from my first job. I was
really?
selling clothes at t-shirts at Roots. I think I was like 15, 16 years old. Lasted like 2 months, and they're like, "You're just not good enough. You got cut out for this, I was like, "All right, that's not good. Man. I can't sell shirts."
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like some other like famous entrepreneurs have been fired too. Like sometimes like entrepreneurs just don't make good employees.
That's right. So you get fired, and now you're like, okay, cool. I have a bunch of time to work on this stuff.
YC, I think the deadline was like September, or no, sorry, not. It was end of October. So that was actually like sort of like a just a forcing mechanism for us to like really grind. And so yeah, I mean, like we were just really trying to figure out ideas. Like we were trying to like be like, should we work on AI like with these image models, or like the HR tech, ag tech, and yeah, like after we played around with it a bit, like it was pretty clear that this AI, like this new AI models were like, like it was a game changer, right? So it'd be like sort of missed opportunity to not build with this technology. So yeah, I mean like we were launching stuff. Like I don't think we launched that version publicly, but the next sort of big thing we launched was basically so we were trying to like basically understand what people wanted, right? Like early on, when you build a company, the only thing that matters is product market fit, building something that people want, right? That's what the Mom test is all about. Trying to, and there's like certain like, tactics you can do. So one of them is like, have a landing page with a wait list, right? So Robinhood is quite is well known for doing this. I think they had 1 million people on the waitlist before they built their product or launched it. They had waitlists for their crypto, for their fractional trading, for the options. And so, you can do a waitlist. You can even have like a waitlist where you have to pay, or like $1 or $2. Like that is like a way to like just like try to get signal from users whether or not they'll actually pay for it, right? Like, and what better way to do that than to actually ask them to pay, right? And so we had wait lists for a bunch of products. We actually built like an app store almost. So, and each of these were like just like different ideas using image models. One of them was like create anime pictures of yourself. One of them was like, create professional headshots of yourself. One of them was
Each of these had a separate landing page. What do you mean by an app store?
it was basically like a website. There's a sidebar with a bunch of tools. So one of them was like, create logos, like with AI, right? Like another one was like create graphics with AI. Another one was like change your clothes. Another one might have been like, product photography, so, and then only one of them was built. I forgot which one was built, but the other ones were just like wait lists. So like people could go on our site, they could actually use one of them, but if they want to use the other ones, they would have to like, click wait list, like update me once this is out. And so that was like a way for us to get signal of like what people actually wanted. And what people wanted was like photos of themselves. Like that was like, I think by far the most waitlisted sort of like tool. And then the next step was to basically build like another website, but instead of having different tools, like they would be different, I guess, like styles of creating photos of yourself. So, people want photos of themselves. Maybe they want anime photos. Maybe they want like warrior photos, maybe photos of them in like, police outfit, photos of themselves in a suit, photo of themselves, for women, maybe like a princess, like a Disney princess.
And it was the same idea, like one website, bunch of options, wait list each option to get demand, to get signal.
So for this one, we actually built them out because like they were more like similar, like in terms of like the technology, like they were just like different prompts. I think the earlier one, the reason why we didn't build them all out is because it was like pretty time consuming, and usually you want to like validate something before you actually build it. Because otherwise it's just like maybe time wasted. But yeah, so for this one, like we had all these different packs. We had like 8 different packs, and they all worked, and it was $40, and you could choose 4 packs. And I like basically launched it on LinkedIn, launched it on Twitter, made like a few $100s, but that felt great. Like that was like our first time making money, really. Like
just one question before you get into it, because I know we all know where it's gonna lead, but like, how do you drive traffic to these sites? Like the first one and the second one, the first one especially, because like for you to figure out what people like the most, I mean, you can't have just 10 people. Like I would think you need a few hundred at least, or maybe thousands. Like I don't know what bar you were setting, but yeah, tell me about the traffic generation, the lead generation piece.
Yeah, I think early on, I think we had maybe a few hundred users like sign up and like wait list. At some point, maybe we had a few thousand people like come onto our site, but it was really, I think, just like my Twitter post. It didn't even like go super viral, but I was just like, one of my goals back then was actually also to build up my Twitter following. I had maybe 100 followers back then, and like there's people like Levels IO, like Peter Levels on Twitter, who's like this like, he's massive for like he's like well-known indie hacker. And so I was getting a lot of like advice from him, like his tweets, and I realized like Twitter is actually a pretty good source for like distribution. And so I was trying to build up my Twitter, and I tweeted basically just like, hey, building in public, check this out. I took some screenshots of on my website. If you like or retweet or engage with this tweet, then I'll give you like 50 free credits, right? And it's only available for the first 50 people. So it's just like some tactic like that, just like trying to like create some sense of urgency and rewarding people for sharing my tweet. And I think that tweet got around like 50 to 100 likes, maybe like tens of thousands of impressions. And so yeah, that's how we got our early users. Like it was like a few hundred people like came to our site and waitlisted.
And were you posting like daily at that point, or just mainly that one post?
Like that was just one post, yeah. And I guess like I knew some people on Twitter, like just like my friends, where like I was in SF, so I had some people who like retweeted it, and like my friends tried us out, just like maybe like 50 of my friends like just like waitlisted, and So that was like how we got traffic early on. Didn't really do too much else until a bit later, and I'll talk a bit about that. But yeah, so we had all these packs, and yeah, people started paying. Not too many people, and we were looking at our data, and over 50% of people only chose a professional headshot pack. And so like, not only did they not choose other, it's like you get 4 packs, right, for $40, but they only chose a professional headshot pack, and which told us like this pack was worth 4 times as more than other packs. And also the fact that 50% of the packs generated was professional headshot packs. And so we were thinking about it a bit, and it's like it wasn't obvious to us at the time. Like it seemed kind of like a toy, like it still seemed like a toy. It's just like it wasn't quite like the tech wasn't that good. And
Yeah, what was the quality? Like these days, I mean, I'm looking at least at whatever you showcase on your website, the front page, and it looks like perfect. You know what I mean? Like you can't tell that it's AI generated. Like what relative to that, like what were those early headshots like?
yeah, they were atrocious. They were so bad. I think for a long time, most users would actually not get a single photo, like out of like 250 photos that they could use. Like it was that bad. Like everything was off. Like there'd be like 3 hands, they'd be like 2 heads, 4 heads. They'd be like 2 irises. Like the poses were all like screwed up.
Were people pissed because they paid $40 for this?
We would refund them. Yeah. So I think from very early on, one of our core values is like customer experience, and we really like take after Amazon. Like it's like customer first. Like if they want to refund, 100% refund. If they have any issue, we're gonna do everything we can. I was in customer support until like we just couldn't, like I just couldn't handle it anymore. I was doing like 10-20 hours of customer support every day. But that was sort of after we started growing a bit more. But yeah, I mean, the early quality was pretty bad. We would give everyone 250 photos, which is also not a great user experience. But that was like we were trying our best to give them at least 1 photo that was good, right? Now it's like the opposite problem. We give people 100 photos, 95 are good, and now they don't know which one to choose. Back then it was just like, yeah, very few were good. But the thing is, like, even though the landing page was pretty bad and the photos were bad, people were still sharing it with other people, and people were still willing to pay. Right. And so that's a crazy thing. And the reason for that is because it's a 10x cost savings for people like wanting headshots in the States. The average cost for getting headshots in the States is like around $250. And we were charging around like, $30, right? So it's like almost a 10x cost saving, and it saves them a lot of time. I think the other big thing with getting a headshot done is, like you gotta go online. If you go through the entire flow, it's terrible. You got to go through Yelp. You got to find
That's what I was gonna say. It's actually the friction that you removed that was probably even bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Like for a lot of people, it's like, I mean, it's both. It's for some people, it's like money. For some, it's like time. The people that have money, yeah, you got to like put on a suit. Some people don't even have suits, right? And with us, you can actually get like an infinite number of outfits, infinite number of backgrounds, and you just like, just open the app on your phone, go to the website, and just like click a bunch of things. It's like, yeah, kind of, like if you told someone like, before we launched this, like that you could do this, they would be flabbergasted. But now it's like totally normal. Now there's a lot of like companies out there that do this. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, that was like, and then we just doubled down on headshots because people were paying for this, even though the shitty landing
You just
page.
cut out all the other packages and it was just pure headshots?
Yeah, it was a bet we took like in January, February of 2023. But I was pretty bullish on it. I think my co-founder, he was like starting to, head in this direction as well. But yeah, like it just made sense to us. It was like, yeah, 10x cost saving, 10x time saving. Might as well just take the bet. And so we like completely scrapped out all the other packs, all the other tools. And our landing page was just like a normal landing page, like, CTA, hero section. I forget what our first like header was, but it was like, like professional headshots without the hassle or something. 10x cheaper, 10x faster, built by AI researchers, whatever. And it had some feature sections and pricing. It was like a very basic landing page. Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense, like not just that the data pointed there, but like, I mean, as you tell me all the other types of packages like warriors and anime and stuff, like they're all kind of like for play. I mean, this is actually, people need headshots. And so you're solving, like there's existing demand for this stuff. And like I said, you're going to be 10x cheaper, 10x faster. Like those things almost always resonate, assuming that the outcome is, that you deliver like on the
Yeah.
product.
I mean, yeah, like professional headshots, it actually like helps people get jobs. It helps people get more clients, right? I think with anime, it's like, yeah, as you said, it's for fun.
Were you the first doing this, by the way? Was anybody else doing like AI professional headshots at that time?
I think there was one other company called Try It On. I actually know the founders. I don't believe they're working on it anymore. Maybe they are like just maintaining it.
Well, that's interesting in of its own. Why would they, like, you're at 10 billion, you know what I mean? And they're not like really working on it. What explains that?
It's a very competitive space. It hasn't been easy to get to where we are. Like, every week, every few weeks, there will be new competitors coming out. And they usually disappear after another few weeks because they realize like they actually can't compete. There's actually like a pretty big distribution and brand moat that I think a lot of people don't realize. So once you have like, let's say like, you're ranked quite high on Google for these keywords, your authority score is like 40, 50. It's very hard for a new company to come in and get traffic. And so like, because we started quite early, there were no competitors. And so we, like, by building a great product, by having an affiliate program, which got us a lot of backlinks inadvertently, that helped us rank really high on Google, right? And so basically, like, since then, we've just like kept working on our distribution, kept working on our product and landing page and everything. And so our ranking has like stayed there, and slowly over time, like our authority score has gone up, and it's like on a logarithmic scale too. So it's like Canva's ranking first for, I don't know, whatever, like image, I don't even know what Canva ranks for, but anyways, like whatever Canva ranks for, like, it's very hard for a new company to come in and like outrank them, right? And so like assuming Canva gets a lot of traffic from search, Google. So, but yeah, like there were other companies that we realized that actually came way before us that were trying to do the same thing, like many years before us. But they were too early. Like they were trying to use GANs, like generative adversarial networks, which is like a model, like AI model to create images, but they're like pretty bad. They were just way too early, and I found out about them because they reached out to us and they wanted us to buy them. But we've probably gotten like 5 to 10 companies reach out to us, like asking us to buy them.
It's crazy how much timing matters, because like you started right when it was like just barely good enough. Like you said, 250 pictures, most didn't work, but like there were some that did work.
Yeah, exactly.
6 months later it was too late.
Yeah, and even back then it was like people were like my friends would use our product and they'd be like these are like they don't want to say it to me, but like in their mind it's like these are not good. Like what are you doing, Wesley? Like your product sucks. Like how are you gonna make money? Like they were like amazed that people would even like pay for this, right? But obviously,
and
like,
why did like some people, I assume, got good things?
Yeah, some people did get good things. Also, the internet is just massive. Like, I think there's just like so many people online. So even if like my few friends don't like it, like, I'm sure you can find people online that like will pay for it and will like it and share it with others. But yeah, it also, the other thing was like it only worked for like I think like certain ethnicities, like,
yeah, okay,
because the model, like Stable Diffusion was like trained, like it wasn't trained on a very comprehensive data set. So maybe like only working on like white people, right? And so like for everyone else, it would just be like, it's like terrible. But then there were some people that liked it, and so like that helped us sort of, get like some early traction.
Did you get a bunch of bad reviews, or you were able to manage that through just like manual customer service?
I don't think we use so now we use Google reviews and Trustpilot for collecting reviews and stuff. But back then, no, yeah, we didn't have like there wasn't a place where people could post reviews. It was more just like, I had to deal with maybe some people posting on like my LinkedIn posts, like, oh, my headshots turned out poorly. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll follow up with you directly. Here are some free credits. I actually like help people manually like, crop their photos or change their upload photos just so that the output was better. So I spent a lot of time. Like some customers I spent like a half an hour on, just because like I cared so much that everyone had the best experience they possibly could with our technology at the time.
So I took you on a tangent, but let's go back then to like that Q1 2023. You decided to go all in on this. What kind of revenue are you generating those first few months? And then what do you start doing to kind of ramp things up?
Yeah, so February we made actually $3,000 around, roughly. I think it was a bit less than that. We launched end of February. I launched on Twitter and LinkedIn. Both of those got like maybe 100K impressions, which is like pretty good. I think it was because like we were quite early, so people were actually like quite impressed, right? Like my LinkedIn post was like AI is crazy. Like look at what you can do now. It was like a like a pretty bad selfie of like one of my friends, and then like a output photo of him in like a suit, right? And yeah,
It was
and
the right
people were
time for
like,
that kind of content because it was right after that ChatGPT came out, like the next quarter, and everybody's like, "Look, I'm building this." Like this is when people like summarize PDFs with AI, like you know what I mean, like all these little things you could do with AI, so it fit right into that narrative.
and it wasn't saturated. Like now it's like whatever, most people know about AI headshots. They're like, okay, cool, another AI headshot generator. But like back then it was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so timing mattered a lot. And then the next month we generated around $2,000. It was a bit lower, I think, because we had already launched and we hadn't like found a consistent source of revenue. The other thing is our product is obviously like it's a one-time payment. I think it makes sense for this product to be a one-time payment. We do have other subscription products now. We sell to enterprise, but for a long time it was just a one-time payment. So the churn's 100% technically, right? And so we hadn't found a consistent source of revenue yet. But then I guess people just started sharing it with each other. We started an affiliate program, so people could basically create this like affiliate link with us, and if they share it with their audience or whoever and they purchase, they get 20% profit share off of every purchase. So that incentivized people to like share us, and some like pretty big like blog sites created these articles on like top AI headshot generators. There was one called so the affiliate program we used was called Rewardful. Highly recommend. Very easy to set up. The blog site that ended up like we just like maybe it was like luck, maybe it was because our product was like the best landing page or whatever, but they ranked us first in their top AI headshot generator list, and that blog post ranked like first on Google for AI headshots, right? And so
Did you hit them up, or they came across your affiliate link and then did the research?
no, they organically.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think they maybe saw us on Twitter, maybe saw us on LinkedIn, maybe like because of word of mouth, maybe someone at that company like saw us, but they ranked us first, and that was huge. Like I think that was like if they hadn't done that, like if these affiliate sites like blog posts never linked to us, I'm not sure if we would be here. Like maybe our revenue would be half of what it is today or whatever. Or
That one post or in general?
that one post that was generating like 50% plus of our revenue at one point.
Holy.
From that one post, because it ranked first for AI headshots, right? And like it'd be like top AI headshot generators, and then we would be the first one, right? And so we've paid out over $100,000 to that blog site at this point through like affiliate commission. But yeah, so that affiliate program got a lot of people to link to us, and because some of those sites had pretty high authority scores and how SEO works, we started ranking organically quite high. Right. And so we were like, top 3, top 5. And then our revenue basically went from, I think, $2K a month in March to $5K the next month. And then 25K and then 50K, 100K.
Was that when that blog went live? The 25K a month?
I think so. Yeah. So and then 25K, 50K. We basically doubled every month.
100, like 200, like
100, 200K. We were
Wow.
at 200K. Yeah, it was literally like so I have some numbers written out, but February was 3K, March was 2K, April was actually 25K, May was 50K, July was 180K. So it basically just like I think it was like 10x and then 2x and then 2x and then 2x until we around like 2 million annual run rate. And then we were around 2 million for the rest of the year. And then we jumped up again, start of the year. So we are affected by seasonality. And again, like mostly one-time payments. So it just depends on like demand.
What's the seasonality? Like, why is the first half of the year so much better than the second?
Yeah, it's mostly Q1. So Q1 is when a lot of people start looking for new jobs. It's like, companies have, like new budgets and start of the year, like new year, new me. People are trying to update the LinkedIn profiles. It's like people just have more motivation and there's more job opportunities.
Those are the moves. You change your diet, you go to the gym, you get a headshot,
Exactly.
All in Q1.
Yeah. So Q1's pretty good. And then, obviously like when we started, I think that summer was pretty hot because AI was blowing up. And so like, I think we were riding like sort of the tailwind there. There was also like, some TikToks that blew up. From some other companies, actually. Some other companies were doing AI headshots. They're like mobile apps. But because like we were ranking like first, second for AI headshots, people would Google AI headshots after they saw the TikTok.
Right. You caught the AI headshot wave. Like when somebody else would promote AI headshots for them and somebody would go search AI headshots, you'd come up.
Yeah. Yeah, so SEO has been like huge for us. Even today, like we're ranked like second, I think, right after Canva. And Canva's product is terrible, by the way. They have a free product, but it takes a few seconds, but the output doesn't even look like you.
What
So
percent of your traffic or your sales even come from SEO?
I'd say maybe like around a third today.
Okay. Okay.
It's around a third SEO, a third Google Ads, and a third word of mouth.
And so was it 2 million ARR kind of flattish from all second half of 2023, right? And then Q4, I guess you saw another jump to what, 4 or 5? I mean Q4 2024.
Yeah, 2024. Yeah, Q1 we jumped to around like so beginning of the year was actually quite good. We were actually at around 7 to 8 million. Like run rate. So making around, I don't know how much is that like per month, like 500K. And then it dipped to like around like 4 million ish for the rest of the year. And then this year, Q1, we're at around 10 million. And then I'm assuming it'll also like dip a bit, maybe like 7, 8 million for the rest of the year or something.
How many people are on the team?
We're a very small team. For how much revenue we generate and how many users we have like 10 people.
So it's like not just like a break-even business. It's like a very profitable business. I'm just doing back of the envelope math.
It's pretty profitable. Yeah, the margins aren't too bad. Like you could probably like, whoever's listening, like you probably do some back envelope math, but we don't like to share our profits. But it's over 7 figures. Yeah.
I'm really worried because listen, like you've been listening for like what, 10, 20, 30 minutes now. Clearly you like it. And the thing is, the next episode is way better and you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it because you're not following the show. So take your phone out and hit that follow button.
And tell me a bit more of the product I'm curious on, because it's a huge unlock for you. It's the affiliate link program. There was that one blog that just kind of happened. Were you, besides just you set up an affiliate program, then you have a link, that's one thing. Did you do anything to promote it, push it, get on other blogs, or you just kind of left it there and people found you just like that one blog did?
Early on, I think they just found us. We were actually like, we were pretty focused on building a great product and a great landing page. Our landing page has gone through so many iterations, like not just like minor like revisions, but like just complete overhauls.
Walk me through that, actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think like the way we saw it, like I think it's different if you have a recurring product, but it's basically the same thing. It's like, number one is traffic. How do you drive traffic to your site? Number two is how high is your conversion rate, right? Like after people get on your site, how many people actually go through your funnel and purchase, right? That will basically determine how much revenue you get. It's just those two factors. If you have a recurring product, you have to factor in retention, so which is one thing we're working on right now for our subscription products. But early on, it's just like, how do we drive traffic, and then how do we improve conversion? So, conversion, it's just like better landing page, right? Like, have a really good value proposition in your header, like, try to not like crowd it too much. It's just like conversion rate optimization, make this CTA very visible, make the site snappy, really showcase your features, have social proof. There's actually a book called Influence, which is pretty good. Like a lot of people, like a lot of, marketing people, e-commerce people use that a lot, but, having like discount codes, mentioning like, oh, we've been used by, 100,000 people, right? We've been used by people from Microsoft. Right. And all the social proof, like, actually really makes a big difference in terms of conversion. Early on, like, I think a lot of companies do this, but like, we didn't have that many users, but we still put like used by thousands of people. And by doing that, we actually got to thousands of people of
true. That's right.
Yeah. So we sort of manifested that. But yeah, like just like building a great landing page and then having a great funnel.
This might be too specific, but like, do you remember any changes that you made in like, some of the more meaningful ones that had a big impact on conversion, or something surprising that surprised you that it had such a big impact on conversion, like anything like that especially from the early days?
I think, I don't know if there's anything specific, but I'd say like the social proof thing like really helped. We did change our sort of landing page to like, instead of just being like a static, like a before after image, like a before photo and after photo, we changed it so it looked like kind of futuristic. So it was like, it's sort of similar to what we have right now. It's like a upload photo, going across the screen, and there's like this like magical looking bar, and then like as you go across it changes into like a professional headshot of you, right? And so that looks like pretty cool. It's like it definitely conveys the concept quite well. It gives out that futuristic feel. So we did make that change, and like we we've done some A/B testing on like, which versions of our landing pages do better. And our current one, like with that sort of version, has done quite well. Yeah, I think from very early on, like we really tried to, like take, just like there's like just like things like social proof, and we try to like, put that into our first version of our landing page. So I think that definitely helped, like get us onto these blog sites and stuff like that.
And then besides that, like, did you do anything else on SEO? Like, did you worry a lot about even the loading speed of your landing page? Did you worry about keywords? Like, where else did you invest time in order to like win the SEO game?
We actually did not. So both my and my co-founders' backgrounds are in software engineering. Zero experience in marketing. Oh, actually, one of the thing I did was, I call it guerrilla marketing. It's like when you just like do what you can to like get your product out there. And I basically like went on Reddit, and I had this idea to like pretend I got a date by using Aragon to create photos for my dating app. So I went to /r/Tinder, and I was like, hey guys, I used Aragon to like create these pictures of me, and I got like 100 matches. So I did that. I went on Team Blind. Team Blind is like this anonymous employee forum for like, tech employees. And, I went on there, and I was commenting on people's posts, like people looking for jobs. I think people were being laid off because I forget like why, but like, I think at that point in time, like, there was like some layoffs.
Yeah. 2022, late 2022 is a bad macro time for sure. And
like early 2023 too. And I was on Team Blind. I was like, hey guys, I used Aragon to create professional headshots and landed my, job, because of that. So I was just making shit up. And it's like guerrilla marketing, and, a lot of founders, like it's all about the hustle early on. And I don't know if that made an impact, but Google does actually look at these things. Like they don't actually just look at backlinks. They also look at mentions. And so Team Blind and, Reddit, they actually have pretty high authority scores, like the highest, right? Because they've been around for a while. And so maybe that had an impact. But we didn't really I didn't really know anything about SEO. So we were getting traffic, and we were trying to understand like, where's the traffic coming from? Like how are we like doubling? And, we were always afraid that our revenue was just going to dip again. Like what if the Geek Flare, like the blog site that ranked us first, what if they just stopped ranking us? And so we were quite worried. We didn't really source backlinks ourselves. We didn't really even understand this concept of backlinks. We didn't do any keyword stuff. We didn't have any blogs. It was just a landing page that people liked, and that people like people converted. Like Google actually looks at time on site. They look at conversions. It's not like I don't think they say it, but like they do look at bounce rate. I think there's some evidence out there that they look at these things. It's like a proxy for how good a product is, right? And maybe if they're like sending it to other people, it's like more direct traffic. So I think by focusing on a good landing page, a good product, good conversion funnel, that helped us a lot. I think we had the best product. And yeah, like I think for many months, yeah, we were definitely worried that, our revenue would dip, and this was just a fluke. But then yeah, our revenue just sustained, and it kept growing in 2024. And, now we're like, we don't worry about that anymore.
Well, I have a question related to that, which is like, you mentioned you have a bit of a moat because of brand and distribution. You're one of these, like, you build a kind of, let's say, quote unquote simple AI tool. What I mean by that is the sort of AI tool that a lot of people are going to create. Like you said, there's a lot of competition. They come, they go, whatever. Do you think you can, in terms of the product itself, I'm sure your product is best in class, but do you think that like edge goes away over time, where in theory many people could create, like, as a headshot, or like, is there a bar, right, where it's like the headshot's good enough? So like at this point, this is good enough, that one's good enough, they're all kind of good enough, they're all great, let's say. So now the only edge is distribution and brand? Or do you think there's a way for you to always just be best of breed in terms of AI headshots, because there's always something you could do much better than somebody else?
I do think there is like a bar. Like basically, I do think let's say like, so our refund rate is like 1% to 2% right now. Like, and we have 100%, like refund policy. It used to be like 10, maybe even a bit more than that. And we like track, like user downloads, right? Like now it's like, I think 90% of our users like at least find one photo that they like. And I think for our competitors, like the top ones, they're probably close. Like maybe it's like 80% of people download their photos, or maybe the refunds rate like 3-4%, right? And like as new models come out, like, and as a new tech, so we don't like when none of us build like our own AI models. Like, I just think that's a pretty like risky business to be in, and we don't have enough capital, and there's a lot of other reasons why we choose not to do that. But yeah, I think maybe in a year, like we'll all get to like sort of like 99%, right? And so I do think that there's a bar, and I do think branded distribution plays a big difference. I think the other thing is actually like your UX. Right. So I think like prior to the age of AI, like let's just like take like software, like, software wrappers, right? Like SaaS tools. Like there's no really like underlying technical differentiation. It's all just built on AWS. It's all just like back end and like front end and like middleware and, like React, right? Like, I mean, there's no like, there's no technical mode, like in the like, like Facebook has like, like network effects, but like when Amazon started, anybody could have built Amazon, right? And like there's no technical differentiation.
Yeah,
but
Canva might be a good. You were talking about Canva earlier. Like in theory, there's nothing stopping somebody from creating Canva.
And so product strategy and UX, I think, matter a lot, right? Like with apps like, I don't know, like Robinhood or like there's just certain apps that, you can tell the team has better team, better like they just like spend more effort, right? To like make every interaction a lot more seamless, right? Like there's fewer bugs, everything just looks nicer, it's easier to use. And that like small difference, I think, makes a big difference in the long run. And also just a number of products and features you have, right? So for us, like, we sell to businesses, we have like a team product, we have a subscription AI photo editor, we have like a subscription AI photo generator, and we have a bunch of tools like, like Magic Eraser and, resources like white backgrounds and a free AI headshot generator. So I think like, it's more of like a growth strategy and a product strategy versus like just like, tech has a different differentiation. So like, for example, yeah, Canva, right? Like Canva has like, I think they have like maybe thousands of landing pages. And they're just like a giant, mishmash of like, just like different tools, and all of their pages get traffic from like Google. And there's actually a lot of companies that have this approach. Like Veed.io is another one. PixArt, PhotoRoom. And so like PhotoRoom's a great example. They started with just one tool, background changer. They're YC backed, I think 2020, I don't know, 2021 or 2022. They generated a few million in revenue first year. Actually, our growth trajectory is around the same as theirs, like historically. But yeah, they just had a background changer as a mobile app, made a few million, found like a niche of, users, which is like eBay, people trying to sell products and wanted to change the backgrounds of the photos. And then they started building other products, and now they're at 100 million ARR, right? So yeah, and it's just because like, the internet's a big place. There's a lot of users out there, and if you build a lot of products, you get a lot of people coming to your site, and you can like create this like, amalgamation of a bunch of products and that are synergistic in nature. So
Awesome. Well, Wes, we'll stop it there. Let me ask the two questions we always end on. The first one is, I think it's pretty obvious for you, but when was like the first moment like you felt like you had true product market fit?
yeah, it's a great question. I talked a little bit earlier about how we thought our revenue was going to tank at any time, given that's a one-time product, given that our revenue was coming from like these affiliates. So we got into YC and Neo, and they're both like startup accelerators, and we ended up going with Neo. And as part of Neo, you get to spend a summer in Oregon. So we were in Oregon.
Why'd you go with Neo, by the way? If you could have gone to YC, just the better known one.
Yeah, so Neo has like around 2x better terms. And it's like a tighter knit community. So it's like, it's only 20 startups per batch versus YC, I think it was like a 200 something. Also at the time, YC hadn't gone back in person. I think YC is a bit better now because they're back in person, but Neo was completely in person. Yeah, you get to spend a month, with the mentors and the partners of the VC firm, like in Oregon, which is super cool. So it was like an experience of a lifetime for me. But yeah, so I remember like first week there, this was because AI had just started going viral on TikTok. But basically our revenue, like that was a month we went from, I think, 2K to 25K. Right. And so, like 10x number of users. And so we had to, deal with scale. Like I had to, hire a customer support person. I couldn't, deal with all this customer support myself. And our server, I think, I forget the exact technical problem, but I think like we were getting like too many callbacks at the same time from our like API provider, and our Heroku servers couldn't handle all those like callbacks at the same time. And so my co-founder, I had stopped coding at that point already. My co-founder basically had to, so our servers were breaking, and he had to basically rewrite our entire backend while keeping the keeping the current backend afloat with scripts, like with manual scripts to like, I don't know, speed up the whatever, like deal with the callbacks. And so like we were in our cabin in Oregon, and normally for food, like we would go to the central area to meet with other startups. He was in his bed all for basically like 2 days straight. He's just on his laptop, keeping like, because he couldn't close his laptop, and like the scripts would like break or something, right? So he had to like be on his laptop the entire time. And so for like I think it was like yeah, 24 to like 36 hours or something, he was on his laptop. I was bringing him food from like the, you know, like the cafeteria or whatever. And like the partners of Neo were like, they were like, where's Akil? Like, I'm like, our servers are breaking. Like, you know, he has to like, you know, fix them. And so we were able to like move off of like the old sort of infra to this new infra that was more scalable. But that was when we started feeling like this was product market fit. Early on, it was like we had some revenue, sure, but like we're always like doubting ourselves, like, is this product market fit? This is like a sort of like a toy project. You know, we have some revenue, but my co-founder, he was an early engineer at Brex. And so Brex had like this massive growth trajectory. They went from a few million ARR to 100 million in like a year and a half, right? So he was there when that happened. You know, he helped make that happen. And for the first time, like working on Aragon, he started to feel the same feeling he had at Brex. It was like a pull from the market, and you can't plan ahead. You're just reacting to the market. Like, it's like the market is like, oh, you know, like it's like, one is like the demand, like the sheer demand of users, like we just like having to like, you know, fix all these problems. And then two is like, they just have like feature requests, and, you know, like the more features you build, like the more people come, and the people just like don't stop coming. Like it's just like, it just keeps growing. Right. And so we couldn't really like we were reacting, not being proactive, and we couldn't plan. Like we were just like reacting to everything. So that was like, that was when we were like, yeah, this is like product market fit.
I'm curious, did you ever think that it wasn't going to work? Like, did you ever feel like you were going to fail?
Many times. So one was when we hadn't launched this product yet. This was between October to February. Like October when we incorporated, February in 2023 before we launched. I was running pretty low on savings. So we tried to raise like right after we incorporated the company. We thought it'd be easier because, you know, I worked at Microsoft. My co-founder worked at like Meta, and you know, like whatever. Like I had, you know, like done an Ironman. You know, maybe it's like it shows grit and determination. So for some reason, like we thought it'd be easy to raise. We pitched like 30 VCs, and you know, they all said no. So we had no money. I had some savings. I had like maybe $20,000 of savings, and so I was just going through my savings. You know, like to pay for rent, food. And so I was pretty low on savings when we launched in February and like started generating revenue. I was down to
what'd you have?
Down to like maybe like a few $1,000s. I forget exactly how much. Maybe
like a
5,
month or two left.
Yeah, a month or two left. I was in order to like sort of like, you know, I don't want to take out a loan. Like I guess technically I could have taken a loan out or something, but you know, I wanted to like stay scrappy and, you know, not ask like people to like borrow money from them. So I was like eating PB&Js for lunch. I was taking the bus without paying. And my burn in SF was 2.5K. I'm actually like still quite proud of that. Like I was able to like,
that's crazy.
Food, everything, like you know, month, like I didn't travel, I didn't do anything.
What did you rent, like a room in somebody's house or something?
Before that, I was an engineer, right? So like I actually like my lifestyle was a bit inflated, so my rent actually was 2K a month. And so that took up most of the budget, but I was living with a roommate at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and so $500 for everything else. And I'm sure I could have gotten it down even lower to like 1.5K if I lived in the Tenderloin or something. But yeah, like that was when I was super close, like to like being like, all right, I have to go find another job. You know, like I need to make money. I'm like running out of money. That was one time. And then just throughout the entire 2023, I think we just like, you know, early on, we didn't know if we had product market fit. We didn't know how big this market was. We didn't know how to like continue to generate revenue. We didn't know if our revenue was going to like just like crash. It was non-recurring. You know, everyone I talked to was like, oh, it's cool. It's a nice project, but you know, it's not recurring. How are you going to scale? Like, you know, now we're at 10 mil, you know, like who's talking now? You know, nobody.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so yeah, I mean, there's e-commerce businesses that hit like a few $100 million revenue that are one time, right? I mean, obviously it's not a great business, like which is why we're still working on recurring revenue. I think it's just like a lot better, for many reasons. But yeah, I mean, you can build $100 million business just selling T-shirts, right? Like, which is a completely commoditized product. Like, what is that one company called? I forget what they're called, but it's like a pretty well known T-shirt company that makes like hundreds of millions of dollars a year, right? And like Athletic Greens and all these companies.
And then last question, what's one big piece of advice like from everything that you've learned over the last 2-3 years for early stage founder?
I think there's a lot of things we did right. I think just focusing on the only things that matter, which is basically product market fit. But before that, it's building something that people want. Building something that people want to pay for. I think there's two ways of building a business. One is you raise a lot of money, you do something that's very capital intensive, maybe build a nuclear fusion reactor. The other one, which I recommend for first time founders, is just build a SaaS, build a GPT wrapper, have a great landing page, try to do everything you can to drive traffic, try to really get the ball rolling, try to keep the momentum up. I think having a co-founder is really helpful. To keep tabs on each other. You have someone you're accountable for. I know a lot of first time founders, they spend weeks on the name of the company, on getting the logo perfect. None of this matters. Swag, we still don't have swag. It's 2 years in. Now we're thinking about doing swag. We still haven't had an offsite. It's just I don't think any of those things really matter, to be honest. I think the only thing that matters, if you really care about building a business, is building something that people want, building something that people want to pay for, getting distribution, getting traffic, conversion rate optimization, building the best product out there. I think that honestly that's the only thing that matters. Everything else, whatever name, company, logo, swag, office, we don't have an office. We were so scrappy. Even though we were making millions of dollars, we still were too cheap to get an office. So I mean, now we're a bit better. Now we're a bit more flexible with stuff like that. But I think that's big. I think the other one is try to maintain your relationship with people and try to keep up your health. I burnt out last year because I basically stopped hanging out with friends, and then my friends moved away, and I regret not hanging out with them more. Lost my support network, my health. I lost 10 pounds of muscle, gained 10 pounds of fat. I did this DEXA body scan. That was pretty bad. My cardio was pretty bad. So if you don't have balance in your life, and if you don't have other stable, if you don't have a partner who's stable, or friends or family. My family is not in the States, so I don't have them, and my friends moved away, and I didn't have my health. So when my company started plateauing and revenue started dipping a bit, I didn't know it was because of seasonality at the time. We were working super hard, and so I burnt out. I was we're working so hard and revenue's dipping, my emotions are dipping with it, and I had nothing else to keep me afloat. I had nothing else to balance my life out or keep me stable, right? When you do have a stable partner or friends or whatever, then when your company takes a hit, or when you're going through a roller coaster wave of emotions because of your company, then you still have your other stable parts of your life to hold on to.
Perfect. Well, Wes, man, that was great. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Hopefully it was helpful for people.
Wow, what an episode. You're probably in awe. You're in absolute shock. You're like, that helped me so much. So guess what? Now it's your turn to help someone else. Share the episode in the WhatsApp group you have with founders. Share it on that Slack channel. Send it to your founder friends and help them out. Trust me, they will love you for it.